Hi, thanks for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. It's gale force winds, raining and snowing in the mountains right now, so I headed out east to fish the Truckee. I'm at the East Mustang Bridge. This is where the special regulations start. It's supposed to start raining and get really windy here in a few hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours, I think. I came here so I could fish this side of the river, that side of the river, and not be too far from my car if the weather gets really bad. And then if I don't get anything here, I can go one exit down to go fish the regional park in Lockwood, and again, fish relatively close to my car in case it starts dumping rain. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to fish. I fished the East Carson River yesterday for Wilderness with Amani Patreon. Caught a big rainbow, man. Got it in the net. But I lost 2 fish that were nice that made me leave feeling really unsatisfied. So I'm gonna try to fill that hole right now with the big brown or a big rainbow. Let's see if we can't beat this storm, get a fish in the net, and get home dry. It's a little windy right now, but it's supposed to get horribly windy. And you can see the precursor to the storm that's on the horizon is coming. It's not that cold yet, but the wind is gonna be nasty. So I'm gonna do some quick hitting, see if I can't get something quick, and if I can't, I'm gonna grind it out as best I can. I mean, even if I get something, I'm fishing until it rains. So, see what we can do. I usually don't get anything in this slow stuff. I gotta get down into that moving water. Not flowing too much. It's pretty shallow right here. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm fishing. I don't got time to go anywhere else, and I'm not gonna go deal with chain check lines off the 80. So I'm just gonna have to skip this thing. These rocks are pretty shallow, but I'm just gonna have to skip this thing right over the top of them. Good boy. He ran straight downstream. Oh, he came off. Darn it, that was a big brown, man. That was a disaster. That big brown jumped, I saw him, and he shook his head. It was a big brown, man. It shook his head, and my jig flew out of his mouth and went right into the trees. That was a disaster. That was a day-ending fish in the first 10 minutes, man. It's so shallow over these rocks I'm fishing. I just had another one come, and it was making a wake as it was trying to hit my jig. See if he's still out there. I mean, he tried to hit it like 3 times. That's a frustrating thing about jig fishing. You know, when the fish try to hit it a lot, they have trouble because you're moving it. You gotta keep it moving, and when it's shallow like this, you really gotta keep it moving. Lost another one. I just lost another one. It wasn't as big as the first one, but it jumped and my jig just flew out. It was small. It was a smaller fish. And when you hook them and they just jump, by the time the camera turns on, the fight's so long done and over that it's not even. But that thing jumped completely out. I was able to see it. It wasn't that big, but it was a nice fish. Dude hunting deer out here, so I wouldn't put on my brighter shirt. He's in all camo, and I'm not looking to get shot today. I don't want someone to think I'm a buck walking through the things. I don't catch a lot of fish here, but I just lost that other fish right over there, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple casts. I mean, the slow stuff, as you know, if you watch my channel, isn't really my thing for jigs. It was quite a smell. I was coming out of the parking lot on the other side, and this guy named Rodrigo watches my channel, and he's like, dude, you have a YouTube channel? I was like, yeah. That's always fun. I meet a lot of viewers when I'm out fishing. It's really shallow on this side, But when I hooked that big fish over there, he got me hung up. There's a rock wall and a drop off over there. So I could almost fish the river better from this side. And even though it's like less than a foot deep for like 20 feet out, it drops off. So all I gotta do when I get to where the river bottlenecks a little more over here is get it to that drop off. I'm gonna try to just beeline over to these big deep spots, and I'm probably gonna pull the plug and go over to Lockwood. There's an active hunter out here, and I don't want to get mistaken for a buck. And B, I think I had my 2 chances at this spot. You don't get a lot of chances with big fish, so I think a new environment might be what I need. Old deceptive stick. As soon as I hooked this stick, I thought I had something good, man. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get deep enough where I'm pulling up sticks off the bottom. Got another good fish. See if I can get something in the net for a change. He already jumped once. Jumping is the kiss of death. When you're fishing jigs, you're gonna lose a lot of fish. When they're barbless. That's just how it goes. He's not as big as the one I lost. The one I lost earlier jumped clear out of the water, man. I saw it. It was several pounds. But this is a good fish, and I'll take it. And as you can see, as I let him recoup in the net, my jig just fell right out of his mouth. As soon as there's no tension, your jig's falling out. So every time the fish jumps, just understand you got a bone. So he's pretty vibrant. He's flat thrashing around in the net. He's ready to go. Let me get my hands wet. I'm gonna show him to you. I'm getting back in the water. That's a nice brown. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. Before the storm. The wind is crazy, but I'm not done. Usually don't fish this side, but I was looking at it the last time I was here, and the Lockwood Regional Park is on the other side. Around these waterfalls, let your jig get down deep in there and then jig it out. I just had a nice brown, it's probably 14, 15 inches, come up and grab it, and I failed to set the hook. I wasn't sure what was going on. There's so much wind, and it took me a minute, and I was jigging it right here, and he came right up and grabbed it, and I choked. Man, someone from Nevada Parks and Recs needs to get out here with some gardening shears or something. Got something small, which usually they just come off. But not this guy. And the jig already fell out. We get my hand wet on the net, and I'm gonna show him to you really quick. Here you go, he's a little brown. He's got a couple years of growth before I'm gonna be interested in him. Let's see if his big brother's in the river. Clouds are moving in fast. It's time to wrap this. That's gonna wrap it up. I'm trying to use my backpack as a windbreak. Before I even upload this video, I need to go home and go to my fishing tips playlist and watch the clip I put up encouraging people new to fishing not to give up on their casts. 2 times I gave up on my casts and just started reeling in really quick and had fish follow it right up to me. And I might have been able to catch them. They were both small though. If you're new to fishing jigs, you're gonna find that once you get done figuring out how not to get snagged, you're gonna get really frustrated. Because if you fish these barbless jigs, you're gonna lose a lot of fish. When they jump, they go flying. You don't get the best hook sets. But even if it's not special regulation, I still encourage everybody to go barbless with these things, because these bigger hooks can really tear up a trout's jaw structure. And I did get a nice brown in the net, so saw a lot of fish flash. The wind was howling so hard, I would have a big bow in my line. So by the time I went for a hook set, the fish, I mean, you got a split second to set that hook. But oh well, I had fun, you know. It's gonna start raining for the rest of the day probably. I gotta go home and get some grocery shopping done. That's one of the errands I blew off last week. I have nothing in my fridge. Mother Hubbard bare bones. I've got night crawlers and a stick of margarine. It's empty. And I don't keep a lot of food. Anyway, that's how I kind of stay thin. I just can't sit and eat. But I need to go shopping. I gotta get some food. I hope you enjoyed this quick squeeze-in fishing in the Truckee River before the storm came. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. Until next time.